Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the 12th episode of the Grief for Hour podcast. I'm here as always with Vic.
Hello, Alex. Happy 3 months of doing this, by the way.
Happy 3 months indeed. Yeah, episode 12.
I know the timeline doesn't add up exactly, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, we had a little break there for the holidays and
basically 3 months worth of content.
3 months of hashtag content. As always, chapters for this video can be found in the description below, and you can slide the little slider down there to pick your favorite topic. But Vic, that's not really going to mean much because we're switching things up a little this week, right?
Just a little bit, guys. No basketball this week. We're going to go a little more in-depth and focusing on the football playoffs rather than anything to do with the NBA. And then, of course, we will always have our gaming topic. That's who we are, sports and gaming. We can get rid of a sport, just not all of it.
Right. So, feels weird, but we're going to dive right into football.
And it started off with a banger on Saturday, Alex.
Absolutely.
I guess, well, no offense to Patrick Mahomes' ankle. Chiefs won 27-20, but for a minute there, you're thinking Patrick Mahomes wasn't coming back that day. It looked pretty nasty.
No, I mean, you looked at that injury and you're like, ooh, I don't know if he's going to play the rest of that game. I'm sure, I don't know what they gave him at halftime to get that ankle going, but adrenaline probably helped too.
Oh, yeah, big time. And you could hear a lot of guys speaking on it afterwards. Tony Romo was saying during the game, I'd sprained my ankle like that too. Today, the day of the game, not that bad. You don't feel it. The adrenaline's pumping. You just want to go out and you want to play, and you feel okay. And you do okay, and the next day feels like crap.
I bet his ankle feels stiff, really bad.
I bet you're right. He says he feels great. He's up and around, according to trainers. So, I guess good news for Chiefs fans. Maybe bad news for Bengals fans. We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But Trevor Lawrence losing on a Saturday, 34-1. I do believe his career record is now on Saturday alone.
I don't really think this game, the Chiefs won 27-20. That's only one touchdown. I think the Jaguars had plenty of opportunities to put this game away.
Oh, look at the Agnew fumble, basically at the goal line.
Right.
I mean, quite literally the season was there. And I think the Jags had a legitimate chance to be in the AFC Conference Championship, Alex. What are your thoughts on that?
They definitely could have beat the Chiefs. I just don't know. If you're going to put the blame somewhere, where are you going to put it?
I think it comes down to mental errors. That team was good. And they unfortunately are prone to mistakes. They've made them 2 weeks in a row now, and, they got lucky 1 week, and unfortunately this week just doesn't go in their favor, I think.
I'd agree. And I think, this Jaguars team hasn't been here recently. This team. I know they were in the AFC Championship game. What was that?
5 years ago?
Yeah, 5-ish years ago. But that was a totally different group of guys, so I can't really compare that to this current team. But this one they made it to the divisional round 1 year after the Urban Meyer era, which makes Urban Meyer look even worse.
And they're all under contract for a little bit. You've got Trevor Lawrence. This is only his sophomore year. There's a whole fifth-year option they can pick up for him being the first-round pick. Their real worry is maybe Josh Allen on defense is their next big contract coming up because he's been there the longest out of the young guys, but maybe he'll take a team-friendly deal.
Yeah, the future looks good for that team. I don't know. Do you think they need to make any moves this offseason to help? Where are they lacking?
Getting a second running back. Travis Etienne is the clear head, but they've got a bunch of rookies and no names playing behind him. So a solid number 2 running back. Just so you don't gotta use Trevor in the run game at all. Not that he can't do it, but
Right. We gotta get to our next game here.
Saturday night was abysmal for Giants fans.
Absolutely. The Eagles absolutely bent over the Giants 38-7 in an absolute disaster class performance by the Giants. It was bad.
Yeah. No, that Eagles team came to play. They had a beautiful home crowd behind them. And, when you're going to halftime up 28-0, That's a good day. It's definitely a good day.
I think it just goes to show the lack of depth within the NFC as a whole, because we didn't see this in the AFC games. Like, the Jags were competitive. I mean, it was a good game. But this game, like, Minnesota comfortably getting in the playoffs, being obviously not a good team. The Giants getting in the playoffs, which they look great against Minnesota, but...
Yep, and they look great at the end of their schedule, but they just didn't get off the bus this game.
They pooped down their leg in this game, and I'm sorry, Daniel Jones, like, he's not your Joe Burrows or Josh Allen's of the NFL. I don't know if he's ever going to be a top-tier quarterback.
Alex, we got to reset the Matt Ryan line. And, because Matt Ryan was that guy, he's not going to win you a Super Bowl, not outright, but he's not going to do terrible for you. And I feel like Matt Ryan has walked himself out of that line. He used to be that line. Who is it now? Is it Danny Dimes? Is Danny Dimes that line?
I think Matt Ryan's peak was higher.
Okay.
He definitely was better than just okay.
The only other guy I'd put there, and we'll talk about him in a minute, would be Dak Prescott.
That's a good point. He's good. I'd say Dak is an above average quarterback. He is a top 15 quarterback.
So it is no longer the Matt Ryan line. You heard it here first. It is now the Dak Prescott line.
I think that's a more accurate representation. Yes.
How about them Bills?
It's Buffalo over, dude. It's
Buffalo over, dude.
It's I mean, is 17 really? Points, is that considered a blowout?
3 scores, yeah.
I mean, in honor of DeMar Hamlin, of course, the Bengals win this game by 3 scores. Final score being 27-10. Everyone thought this was going to be the game of the week, and it kind of. It was for a different reason, I think.
Dude, I kid you not. I tuned into this game, went, damn, this game sucks. Tuned out, tuned back in, and they were down horrendous.
I think this is a really good game because I think it finally gives Joe Burrow the recognition that he deserves. Okay. That's where I'm going to go with this. Because I always feel like the media in general talks about Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. That's back and forth. Those two guys. Because I think people view Josh Allen, oh my God, he's the size of a tight end. He can run the ball. He has grit. He likes to throw deep bombs. And it gets him a lot of attention.
Don't get me wrong. He is a good quarterback, right?
He is. I'm not saying he's bad.
Thank you.
I just think as a true passer of the ball, facilitator of the game, Joe Burrow is a more complete quarterback to be running your offense. And we said it in the podcast, I don't know which week, but we did mention that Josh Allen gets a little bit too comfortable tossing the ball around. Just turning it over. This was like just throwing it away.
Shout out to the defensive coordinator for the Bengals, too. He had everyone fooled with his coverage package, his blitz packages. You thought pressure was coming one way, and you could see Josh Allen audible, and the pressure's coming the other way.
They dismantle. I mean, 10 points from this Bills team that has, Stephon Diggs.
Dude, I heard a lot of things on the radio this weekend after this game, and a lot of people were saying 2 things. One, the Bills have not been the same since they lost Von Miller around Thanksgiving. And 2, if the Bills want to do anything, they need to go get a second wide receiver.
They do.
Thoughts on that?
Yeah, because I think Diggs was basically clamped up the whole game.
Really? You don't think Gabe Davis is a considerable number 2 wide receiver on that team? Or I guess in the league, you don't think Gabe Davis falls in the top 64?
So he had this season a total of 48 receptions on 93 targets, 836 total yards, averaging 17 yards per reception, with a total of 7 touchdowns on the season. I mean, he's definitely a number 2 wide receiver, and I think they use him more as a deep threat kind of wide receiver. I will say that maybe the Buffalo Bills, one of their weaknesses, Devin Singletary?
Yeah, I think running back needs to be a serious thought of upgrade. I don't know if it needs to be a number 2 running back, a number 1 running back to Devin Singletary to cause some sort of battle at the running back position. Definitely would help to keep Josh Allen out of the run mix maybe next year. So there's a little less wear and tear on him. But really, they need to, I think, focus on an extra pass rusher. That defense is severely lacking when it comes to rushing the ball, and you saw that very clear in this game. They could not get to Joe Burrow. I don't even know if he was sacked. I mean, they went perfect on the day. I don't think they punted that often, and they had like 30 first downs, and then they never turned the ball over.
Well, that's one thing that I wanted to talk about was the Bengals' offensive line. Because long time,
fantastic.
Yeah, for the longest time, we were all like, "Oh, Bengals have a bad O-line."
Especially considering they've A, rebuilt it this year, and B, went into this game with injuries.
Yeah, they're playing with backup guys. It's pretty impressive.
It really is, and we'll talk about that more here in a minute when we talk about the Chiefs-Bengals matchup. I think it's going to be kind of key. But what is also key, Alex, is that no one has to watch the Dallas Cowboys play another game this year.
Thank goodness.
Thank you, Brock Purdy. The Sunday night game, yes, Niners squeak out 19-12. Brett Maher looks decent and kicks 2 field goals and has his only extra point of the night blocked. The thing everyone's talking about, and I think we got to get right to it, Alex. How about that kind of Hail Mary type-ish play, I guess I have to say? Because it definitely didn't look like it.
Why do you have Zeke lining up at center? Why do you do that?
I don't know, man.
Especially, so you see the defensive package that's put out there. They have a linebacker bull rushing Zeke, just standing there flat-footed, and he gets pancaked. Literally pancaked.
Absolutely.
If you want to throw a Hail Mary, don't you need to buy enough time for your receivers to get downfield?
Here's the thing, though. It looked like they were trying to set up a screen and lateral with the linemen out to either side. So that ball was going to be out quick. So I don't think it matters that Zeke was at the center. The fact of the matter is, there was no one to lateral the ball to, and the linemen who were clearly there to blocked no one. It was actually a very intriguing play design. Not something you run if your season's on the line from 70 yards out, in my opinion. It reminded me, and you'll love this one. Remember that punt that the Colts were going to do in the playoffs against the Patriots that one year?
They show it everywhere in like all your compilations of dumbest plays ever.
I immediately thought to that. I'm like, there has to be something illegal about the setup here. What really hurt was that Dalton Schultz could not get his feet down on the play before this one,
and he had plenty of room. It wasn't even close. Like he could have easily dragged his toe.
Yeah, I mean, simple fundamentals. Because, I mean, that changes it from like a 60-ish yard throw, maybe like 55, 60, to a 70-yard throw, which is incredible.
Almost impossible.
On how much they gave up. Like, it was, actually, sorry, 55, not 65, I misspoke. It was a 15-yard swing on that play, which was wild. And at first I was like, damn, that's a good catch. And then they slowed down the replay, and I go, oh, I don't need to see this again. He didn't get his other foot down. And they proceeded to show it about 8 more times after that. And that was the most Cowboys thing I've seen in the playoffs, Alex.
The Cowboys find a way to choke away games. And it's not even just that, like last play. They shouldn't have even been in that situation to begin with. First of all, Dak threw 2 picks in playoff. Like, dude, this is your this is the end of the season right here. You gotta... You can't be just throwing the ball away.
Have you heard of any of Jerry Jones's post-game talk-tos with any of the reporters?
I saw some of them. He just sounds depressed.
Yeah, no. He said that all the guys were really sad. Like, they were in the locker room, and like Jerry Jones was keeping like reporters out and like filtering them around the locker room. He's like, "Yeah, we're all very sad. It's they're gonna take a minute, and then they'll be with you." And then he comments on one of them. He's like, "Yeah, it's just sometimes turnovers add up."
Oh, what?
Yeah, you didn't hear that one?
I didn't hear that. So he threw Dak under the bus.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, well, you pay that much money for a quarterback, you throw him under the bus too, right? I mean, we've been doing it with Aaron Rodgers all season.
Is Dak gone after this season?
I'd be surprised if he made the team bus, but no, I don't think Jerry's going to pay all that money and then just get rid of him.
Or, well,
I mean,
you could trade him.
Jerry Jones is, you're a Cowboy for life. I'm still not convinced that there isn't some sort of cemetery underneath the Jerry world where everyone gets buried that's ever been a Cowboy. I feel like there is. There has to be, right? Like dead center underneath the star. Like the star at the field opens up and there's like a staircase.
It's just like a morgue full of old
Yeah,
Cowboys.
just a morgue of Cowboys players.
So in reality, Troy Aikman's actually like not even Troy. He's just like some AI hologram or something. Like,
honestly, either that or the reason he always looks depressed is because he knows where he's going to end up. I mean, I would too if I knew where I was getting buried, wouldn't you, Alex?
Yeah, if I knew I was getting buried, especially underneath that field there, like,
that's scary stuff.
And then imagine losing playoff games there. Like, you're basically desecrating a grave.
Man, glad that hasn't happened. Maybe that's why they keep missing the playoffs. Thoughts, Alex?
They're just cursed or something.
Something like that. I mean,
they haven't won an NFC divisional game. They're 0-7
NFC
since the last. Yeah,
they haven't been in an NFC title game since what, 70, 95?
95, I think. So yeah, it's been almost 30 years now.
So it'll be 29 next year if they don't make it.
So that you're like basically almost all the players in the entire NFL weren't even born when the Cowboys won their last Super Bowl.
I think just Tom Brady.
Just Tom Brady. Oh man.
Anyway, Cowboys gone. Thank the Lord. To answer your question more specifically, Dak gone? No, I don't think so. At worst, benched. I think what's more important, Alex, Championship Sunday.
Yes, and both of these games should be very, very good.
Yes, I'm excited, especially for game one. I think I'm going to watch the heck out of this one. Niners, Eagles, 3 p.m. in Philly. They don't want the Eagles fans to trash the city afterwards. So they have this playing early. I think this game is going to be a lot like that Cowboys-Niners game. It is going to be scrappy, low scoring. Both have great defenses. But I think there's definitely some exploits as far as the Niners defense goes. I think those corners are very young. And I think A.J. Brown's going to cook them. And I've got the Eagles by 4, Alex.
Really?
Yep. Going a little bit over the spread. I just, after watching them dismantle the Giants, so they got their tune-up game in, now they're ready. The Eagles are locked in. Philly is going to another world championship as far as sports go. And the Eagles will be playing in the Super Bowl.
Either one of these teams I could see winning this game. Either one of these teams I could see losing this game. Like, there is not a clear...
That's fair.
There's not... For me, it's not like a clear, oh, this team doesn't even deserve to be in this game. Like if...
Yeah, both these teams are very deserving. They've earned their spots.
Like, if somehow the Giants upset the Eagles last week and they played the Niners, I'd be like, well...
For the most part, I'm going off of experience. Jalen Hurts has a little more experience just overall over Brock Purdy, and I think Brock Purdy looked shaky last week against a really good defense with the Dallas. You know, not to praise them too much, but the Eagles have a very similar defense. I think it's going to be a little bit easier to navigate, but I think they match up better with the 49ers more than the Cowboys do.
Okay.
So I think it's still going to be rough on him.
Well, you know what? You take the Eagles. I think I'll take the Niners still.
Oh, man.
I just think the Niners are such a loaded team offensively. They have Christian McCaffrey. They have Deebo Samuel. They have Brandon Ayuk. They have George Kittle, a player that doesn't seem to get talked about anymore all of a sudden. I don't know what that's about. Even though it's Brock Purdy, I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo made it to a Super Bowl. Why can't Brock do it?
I guess so. So you got Niners, I got Eagles. Man, I have a feeling we're going to be similar here, though, Alex. Chiefs, Bengals. Going right into it, Alex. I don't care who the hell's the favorite. I don't care who. I mean, I think it's going to be interesting watching Patrick Mahomes play with that hurt ankle. But I like the Bengals, man.
I do too, and I don't want to jinx anything. So I don't want to hype them up too much here.
No, I just want to. I'm looking for that O-line play and for that defense to show up. That's it. That's all they need.
I'd agree. And I think, they talked about it during the Chiefs-Jaguars game. Chris Collinsworth was saying, if your ankle's not feeling quite right, it's hard to make all those fancy throws that he does, and maybe
it's hard to move around the pocket.
It is going to be hard, and if Bengals keep on putting pressure up front, he's going to get very uncomfortable.
Look at that beautiful defensive coordination from last game, like literally carried it over. Honestly, if you're the Bengals, I think you would have rather played the Chiefs this last week and then play like the Bills next week instead and flip-flop it. I think it would have gone better for them. I think this game's going to be fun.
Well, and this is where I wanted to talk a little bit about Joe Burrow here.
3-0, baby.
3-0 against the Chiefs. He has their number.
About to be 4-0.
Hopefully. I just think he seems to stay cool under pressure. Like, he doesn't seem to get freaked out. He really
does.
You could tell that Josh Allen at the end of that game was just starting to get... Well, the game was over. Tired. He was tired. That last pick he had, I think, it was just a desperation. Right, I mean...
You know what doesn't suck, Alex?
What's that?
Gaming. Gaming is getting a little bit better.
Yeah, so Power Wash Simulator got some DLC. Croft Manor from the famous Tomb Raider series will be getting DLC coming to Power Wash Simulator on January 31st. There was a short trailer posted where it seems like you will not only be outside of the manor, but you'll also be able to go inside, and it's full of Easter eggs and references to the Tomb Raider games.
And actually, Alex, I don't think we wrote this down on the notes, but actually, I believe it's a free DLC for all players.
Free DLC in 2023?
I believe so, because I believe they're a paid game now. They're on Xbox Game Pass, and all Xbox Game Pass owners get access to it as well.
Ooh, I'm going to have to try that out.
As long as you have the game. So, yeah, I mean, and they've got a multiplayer feature, which is better than most games.
Oh. Does Lara Croft come with the DLC?
Maybe as an operator for your wand usage. I had to think of the word. I don't believe it's called a wand. I could be wrong.
Pause.
I'm joking. I don't think she's in as an operator. I'm just having fun.
Vic, would you like to talk about psionics?
I would, Alex. And actually, the response team for psionics has addressed the Nextobot issues from last week's episode. I believe this is the fastest turnaround I've seen out of any dev team ever to put a statement out on Reddit, and they said that the Nextobot joining online games while it's plaguing players, they are working on an implementation to stop it. They're looking at adding an anti-cheat as soon as they can, and we'll share more as they get closer to implementing that. But in the meantime, they have updated their report system to add a cheating box for when players manually report someone actual. Alex.
And it's been a long time since we've had a cheating box in Rocket League.
Yes, I believe there might have been a small speed hacking thing back in the day, and there was a cheating box for that, but it's something I've never seen when I've played the game, so to hear that this is getting added is crazy, and I mean, look at the response, Alex. I mean, it's less than a week turnaround.
We give Psionics a lot of crap a lot of times, but they really do, I think, care about their community for the most part, and them putting out a statement right away, more than COD,
More than any game, really, I feel. But yeah, mostly COD. Shitters.
That was a stray.
Whoops.
Something else that's been really good. Have you seen The Last of Us TV show?
Actually, I still haven't. I've got to put... I think what I'm going to do here as I eat dinner, I'm going to put it on.
You need to, because it is really, really good. It follows the game almost exactly to the point where I watched the first episode, and then I went and I watched Markiplier's Let's Play from like 10 years ago. When I say it follows it closely, I mean like the shots, the dialogue, the emotion.
Really?
It's very, very faithful to the game.
That's awesome.
And Pedro Pascal, who plays the Mandalorian, is playing Joel Miller, one of the main characters in this show. And he actually makes a really good Joel. And people were all like, well, I don't know, Pedro Pascal, Mandalorian, Baby Yoda. I don't know if he can be a grizzled, hardened man with all this emotional trauma, and how is that going to work out? but he's been
Isn't
doing
that
very well.
exactly what The Mandalorian is?
Yeah, but it's Disney, you know. It's
I mean,
it's like, oh, haha.
like, he's taken from his home planet as there's a civil war, raised in a cult, and he's, looking after a young kid in the middle of a dystopian type era. Isn't that exactly what Last of Us is, Alex?
Kind of, but again, it's just like, he might have a sad backstory, but then at the same time, he'll do a fun little cowboy episode where he helps save the town. Like, it's not quite as deep or like dark as The Last of Us. But you gotta add that to your list. You gotta watch it.
Will do. Alex, another thing to watch. Activision has made an update to their Season 2 for Modern Warfare 2. It will not be releasing on the 1st of February like most of the people thought. It has been pushed back 2 weeks to the 15th of February, right after Valentine's Day, due to quote-unquote big changes coming. An exact quote would be, "Our studio teams have been making several changes based on what we have heard from our player community." Alex, I didn't know that Activision knew how to listen. I thought all they heard was the ka-ching from the COD points in their bank.
Yeah, I didn't think they listened either, because it doesn't seem like they care about the community's input.
Yeah, no, and really, they've leaked some stuff. I guess leaked is a strong term. They've let us know some stuff. A lot of it will be coming in an updated studio blog sometime this week, and or next, right before the update. They have confirmed Gulags will go from 2v2 back to the 1v1 that we all know from Warzone 1.
Good.
They've changed the looting mechanics, Alex. Normally on an elimination, everything that was in the player's backpack stayed there. It'll now spread out onto the ground, more OG Warzone. I don't think it's just Hoover loot like it was in the past where you just run over it to pick it up. I think you'll still need to interact with it in an Apex type sense.
Sure.
No more having to search through backpacks just to get loot, Alex.
Oh, that's good.
And then the last little slew they included in that Twitter post was a rebirth or resurgence type Warzone 2 map, a smaller, more quote-unquote fast-paced game. They will be adding, they had the Tier 1 implemented, Alex, which is their CDL type playlist. But they're coming back with an actual CDL playlist for Modern Warfare 2. It should be called that, and I believe it comes with a ranked system as well. Kind of like it did in Cold War, post-launch. It came with Season 2. Yet again, they continue to make ranked not a priority, because they don't care about it, because they think no one cares about it, but in reality everyone does.
Right.
I guess.
Right.
Because gone are the days of casually playing Modern Warfare.
Right. Everyone has to be a sweat.
I know, and they all complain about maps, so they'll finally get new multiplayer maps with Season 2. There are new guns and quote-unquote new modes, Alex. I don't know what possibly they could add, except for modes that have just been in Call of Duty for years.
We'll see.
I would probably expect like a gun game to come back, which is basically FFA, isn't it?
Yeah, just basically a free-for-all that has rotating guns.
So I don't think anything new is coming.
No. It's kind of like that Halo Infinite game mode that we'd play. Fiesta?
Actually,
remember that?
Yep.
That brings us to our Studs and Duds section of the podcast. I'm going to start off this week's Studs and Duds. And you will not be surprised at all by my stud. And not just because it's on the agenda, but because we've been talking about him a lot this week.
Sure have.
Joe Burrow with the Cincinnati Bengals. Man, Joe Cool, Joe Smooth, Joe Shiesty. Doesn't matter. Bengals in 4. He's been really good this year, and
yeah,
he's my AFC quarterback right now.
That's fair.
And then I gotta go to my dud, of course. I'm gonna throw this one on Mike McCarthy with the Cowboys.
Really, Mike? You think this is Mike McCarthy's fault?
Yes. As a Packers fan, I can smell it. I can just
smell it.
This has Mike McCarthy written all over it. It's either him or what's their offensive coordinator? Kellen Moore? Is that it?
Yeah, the young guy.
Maybe it is him. I don't know. But Mike McCarthy is a head coach. What are you doing? Well, you can veto this. Why are you why are you having Zeke line up as a center? I don't get it. It's dumb. Cowboys doing Cowboys things, and Mike McCarthy just so happens to be leading the charge on that.
Very interesting, Alex. I didn't know if I wanted to give this to COD or to someone else. And honestly, I feel like just because you said Mike McCarthy, I have to tell you you're wrong. This blame doesn't go to Mike McCarthy. I feel like Mike's just there. Mike actually has an offensive and a defensive and a special teams coordinator who have come together and are really the staff around him. And you've seen him really relinquish control to those guys, and it's more their fault, if anything. But I think I'm going to put it on the guy on the field. I believe Dak Prescott will be my dud this week.
He played pretty bad.
He just looked horrible. After having a 4 touchdown performance the week before in Tampa, you're telling me you forgot how to play football? I mean, half of his passes, I believe, I was trying to look at stats after the game, went to CeeDee Lamb. And CeeDee Lamb had half of his passes, at least his completions, to CeeDee Lamb, and like 3/4 of his yards were to CeeDee Lamb. So, shout out to CeeDee Lamb. Honorable mention for a stud. Really carried that Cowboys offense to being anywhere near in that game.
He did.
But Dak Prescott, 2 turnovers. I mean, at this point in the playoffs, you gotta stop throwing the ball wrong, man. And really, both of them were just on underthrown balls. One was a terrible route by Michael Gallup, who that just gets absolutely cut off. But really, Dak should never have thrown that ball, and that happened early on. And the other one was also just as abysmal. He's not on the same page. Doesn't look like he works with anyone else in his wide receiver core, and everyone looks like he's done with him. Just about as much as they're done with Brett Maher, man.
He's gone after this season. Guarantee it.
It'll be interesting to see. And the other NFC East quarterback still left, Alex, will be my stud. Jalen Hurts is the lifeblood of that Eagles offense. He's looked fantastic all this season. He's looked fantastic coming back off that shoulder injury. I have this team's in the Super Bowl, Alex, against the Bengals. That was my new prediction with the Bills being gone, really.
So an Eagles-Bengals Super Bowl.
And I think that is going to be one of the funnest Super Bowls we've had in a while.
Yeah, that'd be a really good matchup, because the last few years, well, Bengals were good. The Rams, I think both of those teams were there, maybe not super deserving.
That's fair. But I think this year the Eagles and Bengals are more deserving than any other team. They have looked by far the best out of these top 4 teams. We'll see how well the 49ers can hang with them. I think I still got that game being close, man.
It's going to be a close one. A lot of good games this weekend and a really good podcast we had today. And I just want to say thank you guys again for watching, listening to us chat about some football and gaming today. Really appreciate it. So if you please like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, especially those hashtag quick chats, right, Vic?
Yes, as I smack my computer. Hashtag quick chats, guys. We love the input. Helps us make quality content when you give us stuff to talk about.
Absolutely. And Vic, do you have anything else to add, or you good?
No, I think that's it, Alex.
Awesome. Well, guys, we'll see you on next week's episode of the Griefer Hour.